Hey Natalie, do you think the new Wild Medina opening is a little overdone?
Just a little bit. Good day to you, park friends. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Mark, and we're your armchair adventure guides to what's wild in Medina County.
In today's episode, we'll explore a mystery at our wetland, learn about our resident bobolinks, and I'll even take you on a creek walk at Leave the House Park.
I'm sorry, you said you saw a big spider the size of you on your back porch, and it's staring you down through your kitchen window? Hold on one second. Nicole, phone's for you.
Mark, did you forget that we're filming Wild Medina episode 4?
Oops, sorry.
In our first segment, Naturalist Claire interviews our amazing and talented volunteer artist, George. I know everyone loves art, but I'm really drawn to it.
I was just going to make a joke about a broken pencil, but at this point, it's pointless.
Wow, you were able to easily squeeze 2 puns into 1 sentence. Impressive.
Thank you. But Natalie, we better show the next segment. We are on a time frame.
So I think what people want to hear about is how you became a volunteer or how you became an artist.
A good friend of mine, Julie Stewart, says she saw an advertisement that the park starting a new program, and it was called Trail Monitors. And so she said, let's join. I thought, okay. So we did. So we walked the trails, so forth and so on. And then we had a newsletter come out, or it was one of our monthly meetings where they passed out, the naturalists had passed out a sheet, and there was various things that we could do other than walk the trails. And lo and behold, one of those things was artist. And I thought, oh, okay. So I let it be known that I thought I could draw and paint. And so that's how that started. So they also had that the parades were coming, and so they needed help design and put together a float. And so my first art assignment was to draw and paint a coyote to go on the float, and then also a blue heron. And so that's really how it all started. I didn't really get too many things to paint until this gal came on board called Claire Bailey. She gave me a lot of paintings to do, which I have done throughout the years. And it still continues to this day. So it's quite enjoyable.
Good.
And I guess she likes what I do. When I come up here, I haven't seen any in the trash can.
Never throw your stuff in the trash.
So that's how I got started associated with the park.
That's good. Did you do any other things for the park besides painting?
Yes, going out to the fair and working the fair, the Medina County Fair.
Okay.
They had a booth. I guess they still do. And then there was other functions that we volunteered for. Maybe need to go pull mustard or do things like that. Trail monitoring was great. We enjoyed it, but we wanted to do more.
Yeah. You used to help with the family camp out, didn't
Yes.
you?
Yes, I'm glad
I remember you making pancakes, I think.
Pardon me?
I remember you making pancakes. Did you make pancakes?
Yeah, right.
last
The pancake,
year?
yeah, you're doing better than I am.
Judy sent us the whole list of things, so that helped me out.
Yeah, they did the pancake thing. And and I helped Mark. He's a naturalist. He put together a fishing derby and out at River Styx. And so every April, whether I was freezing or not, I would go out there and help to measure the fish. Whoever got the smallest or whoever got the biggest, and then they'd win a prize.
I think you also went to River Styx a lot in the hot weather, because didn't you used to do bluebird survey there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
That's my job.
The bluebird did that for a few years. So what else have I done? But as far as the artwork goes, anything from a 8-foot T-Rex to a little bug.
You also did those marquees for puppet shows.
Completely forgot about these.
You know, you start walking around here and you start seeing, oh, George did that, and oh, George did that too. So there's a lot of things. So as far as the artwork, you did the parade float animals.
How many do you think I've done? Because just the presidents alone, there was 11 of them.
I'm sure there's over 100 things
Oh, yeah.
that you've done. 100 projects.
Because a lot of them, you gave me maybe 10 or 15 or 20 to do on certain things.
Well, the Yule Lads, you did a lot of
so
those.
you
Yule
add that
Lads.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah. So yeah, there's been quite a lot of different projects. The float animals, like the animals, wooden animals, are a big one. Then you also helped a lot with putt-putt. So I remember when we decided we're going to make an indoor miniature golf course, we called a meeting and put it out to all the volunteers to come and see who's interested in helping. And you and maybe 3 other people showed up. It was just a few people, but then we kind of moved forward. You ended up doing the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus was first, because we were rushing to get that one done so that we could use it on the parade float that year.
I remember that.
Yeah, so you got that big one done, and it was a lot of painting because it was 2 sides.
Now, I think the saber-tooth was the second year.
Yeah, the Velociraptor was in the first one because that was for the nest. Yeah, and you helped with the volcano for the Putting Through the Ages as well. So yeah, there's a lot of
Anything
projects.
to slap paint on, I would help.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely enhanced it. It brought it to life. You know, we would walk in, and I remember Mark put that recording of the T-Rex roaring behind it. So there was actually a sound as well, and so many kids were just like, you know, their faces were just, the eyes bug out. They walked into Putting Through the Ages, and you see that happen, and you know, that it wouldn't be that way if there wasn't such good visuals. You know, every little detail makes it that much better when people come. And so I think anybody that comes to a program or an event gets a lot out of those little tiny visual details. Even if they are just small, I think that has a lot of value. It makes the program better and more interesting.
Well, good, thank you, that's good.
Yeah. So clearly, since you stuck around for this long, you like being a volunteer.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Is there anything in particular that you like about volunteering?
Freedom. I mean, I can't do whatever I want to do, totally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's relaxing. I enjoy nature. It's a pleasure for me. And I enjoy it. One of the best things in my life is probably joining the park and doing this, doing the paintings. But this is quite enjoyable to me. So when's my next?
What's your next project?
Next up here is Natural's Natalie, and she's up the creek without a paddle.
That's funny, but no worries. I actually brought my paddle with me. Here you go.
Thanks. I may need this after this episode airs.
Welcome to Grays Creek at Letha House Park, another location within Medina County Park District. Grays Creek is a high-quality stream and will serve as the focus of our stream study. Before we get started, what exactly is a stream? A stream is an area of flowing water on the surface of the earth. It is generally found at low points like the bottoms of valleys and flows in a channel from a higher point down to a lower point. This stream study will explore macroinvertebrates, vertebrates, and key habitat features within a stream. Macroinvertebrates are organisms that lack an internal skeleton and are large enough to be seen with just the eyes. They may also be called freshwater invertebrates, as the organisms we will be searching for are living in a freshwater creek. Searching for macroinvertebrates may sound tricky, but they serve as the majority of living organisms within a stream. Some prefer to cling to rocks, others to burrow into substrate, and others hide in aquatic plants and root mats along the edges. Finding macroinvertebrates can be an important indicator of stream health. Some species are not tolerant of pollution, habitat changes, and environmental changes. Their presence in a stream is a good sign that it is healthy. There are many ways to look for macroinvertebrates. It can be as simple as carefully flipping over rocks in the water, or as complicated as using a kick seine to explore larger areas in bigger creeks and rivers. Here we are looking at the bottoms of rocks, as well as using a small aquarium net to scoop lightly sifted substrate. We'll come back to the net, but here on the rock is a water penny beetle. Within our tray, we can immediately see this common stonefly cruising around in the water. The microscope allows us to get this closer view where we can see its 2 tails, which sets it apart from mayfly larvae, which have 3 tails. This is the same water penny beetle from our rock. These beetles get their name from their aquatic larval stage, pictured, which looks just like a flattened coin pressed to a rock in the water. The stoneflies are very active. There they are again, swimming around. Snails can often be found clinging and inching along rocks in the water. A careful look at this one will reveal its tentacles as it moves past the microscope. The snail casemaker caddisfly may be hard to see in the tray, but this up-close microscope allows us to see its intricately constructed shell or case that is shaped like a tiny snail shell made of even tinier rocks. A close look reveals its teeny legs emerging from within the case. This teeny bug is a stonefly, just a different kind. It is a rolled-wing stonefly, and it may appear so thin because its abdomen, or the back of its body, remains roughly the same width along the length of the insect, where the abdomen of others tapers down. Within our tray we also found a melletid mayfly larva. A careful look reveals a dark band across all three of its tails. A flathead mayfly larva was also found, and compared to the melletid mayfly, this one seems flat, almost pancake-like. In fact, it's so flattened that its eyes are located on top of its head. This riffle beetle was also found in the sample from the rock. The rows of needlepoint dots are hard to see, but the two claws on the end of each leg are visible through the microscope. Healthy streams and rivers have a surprising amount of biodiversity hiding just below the surface, which is why it is important that any creek exploration is careful so as not to harm or disturb these small creatures. Creeks are not only home to macroinvertebrates, but also vertebrates or things with backbones. The flip of a rock or log, or the swipe of a net might just reveal a resident frog, salamander, or fish. As we walk, look for larger, preferably flat rocks and logs that may serve as appropriate shelter for frogs and salamanders along the edge of the creek. A flip of this rock reveals a northern two-line salamander. The salamander is typically found on banks of streams as an adult. It gets its name from the two dark stripes running along either side of its back, bordering a central broad stripe that is more lightly colored. Northern two-line salamanders lay their eggs under rocks in the water, and upon hatching, these young salamanders have gills and will live in the water, so watch your step. Both frogs and salamanders will prefer rocks and logs that are resting on the ground rather than firmly pressed into the ground, so look for things that are loosely resting on the surface. Remember that the goal is to leave things as they were found. If a log is rolled, gently replace it. If a rock is flipped, carefully place it back. And most importantly, be careful with these creatures and make every effort to observe with your eyes rather than with your hands. A flip of this rock and the shift of a small log reveals a green frog. This green frog is an adult but not yet fully grown. Like the northern two-line salamander, frog eggs are laid in the water, typically slow water like ponds or backwaters, and upon hatching, a tadpole will reside in the water as it slowly transforms to an adult that can live on land. It can take a green frog over a year to undergo metamorphosis from tadpole to frog and can take up to 5 years to reach its full adult size. This frog has a little way to go. A close look at a green frog will reveal a dorsolateral line or ridge that runs from the back of each eye along the length of the body. This helps to set it apart from the similar bullfrog. Healthy streams and rivers house macroinvertebrates that help to feed young salamanders and lead to adult insects that feed adult salamanders and frogs. Finding these vertebrates can indicate that you are walking through a healthy creek.
I really think we need to change up these anchor spots a little. Too many puns and bad jokes. I think we need a good old-fashioned silly song to sing.
What about the Bobolink song? I brought my guitar.
Yes! Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Why don't we just leave the singing to the Bobolink? Let's not quit our day jobs.
This is our day jobs. As June transitions into July, many of our songbirds have fledged young, and some may even be starting a second brood. The bobolink is usually done nesting in July, usually just one brood, and prepares itself to make the long journey back to South America. The bobolink is one of Medina County's longest traveling songbird migrants. Every year, they can travel over 11,000 miles round trip from Medina County to as far south as Argentina. Distance-wise, it may travel 4 to 5 times around the circumference of the Earth during its lifetime. The bobolink usually shows up in early May when the males begin to claim territory, attract females, and begin to nest in overgrown fields in several of our parks. Outside the nesting season, bobolinks live socially in flocks.
But when they arrive on their breeding grounds in Medina County, the males compete vigorously for territories by singing, displaying, fighting, and even chasing each other. Listen for the long, bubbly, metallic, rambling song. The male bobolink often sings the song while flying, moving slowly with its wings fluttering rapidly, or perched on stems of plants. Here is a video showing males claiming their territories. I was amazed that I was able to capture the footage of 3 males together arguing over territory. Male bobolinks mate with several females during the breeding season. Females make a nest out of coarse grass and weed stems, and then line the nest with fine grasses. She can lay 3 to 7 eggs, and the incubation period is about 11 days. Both parents feed the young. When the young fledge the nest, they are unable to fly and hide in the vegetation until the flight feathers emerge, which can take several days. Families from several nests join together and form flocks. Within a month, the immature males learn to feed themselves, and the flock leaves the breeding grounds in July and start to head back south. During the breeding season, bobolinks eat seeds, insect larvae, adult insects, and spiders. During migration in winter, bobolinks eat wild and domesticated rice, known in the south as rice birds, oats, small grains, corn, and occasional insects. Males have a white back and black underneath. It looks like they're wearing a tuxedo backwards, and a yellowish tan patch on their head. Bobolink numbers are declining because of the loss of open habitat, but the Medina County Park District provides this much-needed habitat throughout our park system.
Did you ever misplace something and look all over the place? Then find it in a strange place and have no clue how it got there?
Natalie, that's never happened to me. By the way, did you see my glasses?
Mark, they're on top of your head.
Thank you. I've been looking for them all day.
My point exactly.
Natalie, we already did that artist pun. Next up is Natural's Nicole. Join her on a search for the mystery at the wetland.
Mystery? Oh, I love a good mystery. I recently started writing a mystery novel. Or did I?
Well, did you or didn't you? I think the audience wants to know.
Well, that's the joke. Mystery, get it?
What's the joke?
We better show the next clip. Mark just doesn't have a clue.
We're here investigating some evidence that I found on the boardwalk. This to me looks like plant material. There are many plants unique to wetlands, including cattails. You can see the fluffy seed head here that looks like a cat's tail, which is perhaps where it got its name. Look at all these different pieces and parts of plants. Check this out. Oh wow. I think I know what this one is. This appears to be a root from a lily flower. And those lily pads are leaves to lily flowers. That is a muskrat lodge. I bet a muskrat is what left this plant material behind and dug up that lily root. I wonder what they're doing with them. Muskrats are small, furry mammals that are very good at swimming. They're much smaller than what you would picture a beaver to be. They build their lodges out of these soft, wetland plants instead of sticks like a beaver would. Muskrats are large freshwater rodents. They have 2 coats of hair. The thick fur undercoat keeps the muskrats warm in winter, and the outer coat is made up of long, shiny waterproof hair. Muskrats typically eat aquatic plants, a few terrestrial plants, clams, frogs, crayfish, and fish. Their tail is flattened and nearly hairless, making it a perfect rudder for swimming. Watch the muskrat here as it collects a root from one of those underwater lily flowers, and it's carrying it back to the lodge.
Gross science is next.
Is this one gross like the last one?
Oh, even grosser. You watch and see.
Mark, that wasn't gross at all.
Oh shoot, I put the wrong clip in.
Take a deep breath and relax. Next up is Peaceful Park Pause.
Oh, great timing. I need it. I'm still trying to figure out the mystery joke. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Feel so much more relaxed.
Ew.
Mystery? Oh, I get it. Because you're not even sure you're writing a mystery novel.
Bingo!
How did you come to be an artist? What's your work background, or what is your, like, is there a story maybe about how you came to be an artist?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go that way,
Yeah.
and then we can go into
I was in the Army, 23 years old. I got out of the Army. I spent 3 years in the Army. When I got out, I didn't know what I wanted to do. There was an advertisement that came on TV. It said that a famous artist course, it was called. And I thought, I like to draw. So I think I'm going to take that. And so I did. It was a 3-year course. It took me 5 years. And so I got a job after I finished it. I got a job at B.F. Goodrich Company as an artist. And so I spent 19 years there. And then meanwhile, during those 19 years, I did some illustrations and built up my portfolio as far as being able to illustrate. And then after the 19 years, I spent 19 years there, and then Michelin bought out Goodrich, went down to South Carolina. Well, I didn't go, so I ended up going to work for myself. And then I started studying how to do caricatures. And so that really helped doing that. I must have done 1,000 faces, but I would do different things for wedding receptions, Football Hall of Fame, whatever. I never had any art in high school. I never had any art in college. So I guess it's just a motivation thing, a desire to do this. And that's what, if you have that, you can do it.
Do you have advice for somebody else, like a young person who maybe might be interested in being an artist?
Be careful with your thought process, because you're going to fail a lot of times. Well, not a lot, a few times at producing something, yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid to fail.
Oh no, don't be. I have a lot of failures. I got a lot of trash cans full of artwork that just, to this day, I mean, any artist that's interested especially the youngsters, they just got to keep on drawing. There's many, many things I've thrown away, just like anything else. You got to stay with it.
What have you done for WCTV, since this is where we're airing our TV show?
WCTV?
For Joanna.
Joanna, if you produce 1,000 shows for WCTV, she would call me up and say, we want you to do a painting for this person that's going to present it to him. And I've done 3 of those paintings that people produce 1,000 shows. And I guess the original paintings are up there, WCTV. Then a copy, and they get it framed, gives it to the recipient.
And these are caricatures.
Here, when I do caricatures, I really don't exaggerate the face that much. I try to get it pretty much realistic, but I will exaggerate maybe the height, maybe the shoes, maybe this, maybe that. Yeah. And so it's a semi-caricature, semi-realistic and everything. But she would give me the photographs of the face mainly, and if anything else, like there was 2 gentlemen that put on a show about polka. She provided me with a picture of the accordions and stuff like that, and showed me all the reference. She gave me all the reference material that I needed. Producing 1,000 shows.
It's a big accomplishment.
It's pretty. How many do you have?
We have 2 so far. We got a long way to go before you have to caricature all of us.
How old will you be when you get 1,000? Well, I really want to thank you and you for having trust and faith in my ability to, but I think you would say, let's don't use them anymore.
No, it's definitely mutual, George. We have a mutually beneficial relationship here, and I like it a lot.
Me too.
That's it for today's episode, folks. Join us next time for another armchair adventure into Medina County Parks.
Until next time, stay wild, Medina.